Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are fine. I am Dakshayani, handling biology from Bardasnath Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to see chapter 2 in 12th standard botany. The chapter name is classical genetics. So far in this chapter we have discussed about the Mendel, right? Gregor Johann Mendel, he is a father of genetics, and we discussed about his history and how many years he spent in his experiments, and we explained why he chose a pea plant and what was the success for his experiments, and we discussed about the monohybrid cross. And in this session we are going to discuss about the back cross and the dihybrid cross. So let us go into the topic. So first one, we should know what is a back cross, right? Back cross is a cross between the F1 hybrid and with either any one of the parental, right? So now let us see what is a back cross. So back cross is a cross of F1 hybrid. What is a F1 hybrid, children? F1 hybrid is a capital T, small t. It is a F1 hybrid. When it is crossed with the any one of the parental genotype. So now we are going to see about the dominant. What is a dominant genotype? Capital T. So now when you crossed, what will happen? In the next generation, capital T and small t. So here all the plants are tall. So if the parent is dominant, there is no change in the phenotype. All plants are tall. So now we are going to see the recessive back cross. So back cross F1 hybrid when it is crossed with the recessive. What is the recessive genotype? Small t. So when it is crossed, what are all the genotypes we get, children? Capital T, small t and small t. So we get two phenotypes in the equal proportion. We get here all are tall. But here when the parent is recessive, we get the phenotype in equal proportion, that is tall is to dwarf in the ratio 1:1. So this is a back cross. So we can identify either the parent is a dominant or a recessive by using the back cross. And now we are going to see why Mendel's pea plant are tall and dwarf. Why? There is no intermediate forms. One plant is tall, one plant is dwarf. What was the reason behind it? So let us see. It is due to the reason behind it is that gene. The gene responsible for the present in the tall plant, which is responsible for height of the plant. So now, what is the hormone responsible for cell elongation, children? Gibberellin. It is a hormone which is responsible for cell elongation, which helps in the improving the height of the plant. So the tall plant possesses the gene LE, which is responsible for the plant height. For example, this allele should be dominant. For example, the tall plant possesses the alleles capital LE and LE, or it is the allele present in the tall plant. So it is dominant. The gene responsible for producing gibberellin is dominant. So the plant which has this dominant gene has a capacity to produce gibberellin. Actually, gibberellins will be in inactive form, right? So the inactive gibberellin will be converted into active GA1, active gibberellin in the tall plant. But the alleles which is present in the dwarf plant is this LE here. Both the alleles are recessive. So the plant cannot be able to convert the precursor of gibberellin into the active gibberellin, hence the pea plant is dwarf. So now we understood the reason why the Mendel's plant are tall and why the plants are short. It is due to the gene responsible for producing the gibberellin. And now we are going to see what is a dihybrid cross. In the monohybrid cross, we studied only one pair is contrasting character is involved. For example, tall is to dwarf. But in the dihybrid cross, here two pairs of contrasting characters is involved. For example, given is round yellow seeds is crossed with wrinkled green seeds. Is crossed with wrinkled green seeds. So, round yellow, right? One pair. Wrinkled green. So, two pairs of contrasting characters are involved in the dihybrid cross. And here, when the pair is crossed with the hybrid, the segregated pair is independent of the other, right? So, when we cross, we get the gametes, right? So, that is independent of the other gametes. So, this gave rise to the law of independent assortment, right? And now we are going to see about the dihybrid cross, that is a law of segregation and law of independent assortment. Just look into this picture, children. Here we are taking the two parents. One is round yellow, capital R, RR, into wrinkled green, right? So, what are these parents are diploid, right? It is a parent. So, what will be about the gametes? The gametes produced are capital R, capital Y and small r, small y. So, in the F1 generation, when they were crossed, what will be the result in the F1 generation? Capital R, capital R, small y, right? And now, when we cross this, when we cross the F1 generation, what are the gametes we get? So, when we cross, what are the things we get, children? Capital R, small y. So, when we cross, we get the gametes capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y and small r, small y. Likewise, here also capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y and small r, small y. So, here you see, children, equal number of gametes are formed, right? So, this is the law of independent assortment. So, here 1, 2, 3, 4 gametes are formed, 4 gametes of different types are formed. So, this is the proof for the law of independent assortment. And now we are going to see about the dihybrid cross. Okay, children, what is the dihybrid cross? It involves two parents. So, now we can see the parents are diploid, a female and a male, right? Parent capital R, capital R, capital R, Y, capital Y, small r, small y, small y, right? So, and what is the gametes produced? The gametes are haploid, right? Haploid gametes. Gametes is capital R, capital Y, small r, small y. And now, in the F1 generation, when we cross, what are the gametes we get? We get capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, right? When we cross this, we get like this. And when the F1 hybrids were self-crossed, right? When the F1 hybrids were self-crossed, we get the gametes capital R, right. So, this is a gametes we get as a result of the cross between the F1 hybrids. Now, we can see what happens in the F2 generation. So here what are the gametes produced? Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Here also capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So now we are going to write the cross between them, right? And now what happens, children, when we cross these two gametes, we get capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. So round yellow. Here we get capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. And if we cross this two, we get capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. And when we cross this two, we get capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So here all are round yellow. And next when we are going to cross between the capital R, small y, right, that is round green with the round yellow seeds, right, we get the combinations capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y. And when we cross this two, that is wrinkled yellow into round yellow, when we cross this two, we get capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Later we get capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Again when we cross small r, capital Y, capital Y, and small r into capital Y, small y. And when we cross a wrinkled green and round yellow seeds, we get capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y, and small r, capital Y, small y, small r, small y, small y. So this is the gametes as a result of F2. These are the gametes produced in the F2 generation. When the F1 hybrids were crossed, this is the result. So just now we are going to calculate how many round yellow seeds and how many round wrinkled seeds, right? So now, so first one, round yellow seeds. How many are round yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Yes. How many round yellow seeds? The round yellow seeds are, ratio is, we can see 9. Round yellow is 9. And now we are going to see round green. Round green is this, right? 1, 2 and this one, 3. So round green is 3. And now we are going to see wrinkled yellow. Wrinkled yellow 1, 2 and 3. So wrinkled yellow 3 and wrinkled green. Wrinkled green is 1. So what is the ratio for dihybrid cross, children? Yes, very good. So what is a Mendel's dihybrid ratio, children? 9:3:3:1. So how many round seeds we get? Round yellow seeds. Round yellow we get 9. Round green 3. Wrinkled yellow, wrinkled yellow 3. Wrinkled green is 1. So what is the ratio? 9:3:1. 3:3:1. So this is a dihybrid ratio. So now let us discuss some of the questions related to the back cross and the dihybrid cross of Mendel. So first question, in Mendel's experiments with the garden pea, the round seed shape was dominant over the wrinkled seeds. Yes. And yellow cotyledon was dominant over the green cotyledon. What are the expected phenotype in the F2 generation of the cross? Capital, that is round yellow into wrinkled green. So what is the answer, children? Yes, very good. Round seeds with yellow cotyledons and wrinkled seeds with yellow cotyledons. What we get in the F1 generation, children? What is the answer we get? Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y only, right? In this we get the hybrid like this. So when we cross this, we get to the we get the round seeds with yellow cotyledons and wrinkled seeds with yellow cotyledons. And so the answer is this. And select the incorrect statement from the one given below with respect to the dihybrid cross. Here, tightly linked genes on the same chromosome show very few combinations. This is for the responsible for the height of the plant. When the genes were linked tightly, right, the chromosomes show few combinations. So this is the correct statement in that. And some of the 2 mark question is, what is a back cross? What is a back cross? When the F1 hybrid is crossed with either a dominant or a recessive phenotype. Distinguish between monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Distinguish between the test cross and the back cross. And the 5 mark question, explain the dihybrid cross. You have to write what is a dihybrid cross, parents, gametes, F1 generation, F2 generation, and what is a genotypic ratio. Understood, children? Genotype and the phenotypic ratio. So far we discussed about the back cross and the Mendel's dihybrid cross. With this session comes to an end, children. With this chapter we have attached the assessment, question bank and the study material for this lesson. Go through it, practice the checkerboard Punnett square of dihybrid cross in your notebook and sort out the gametes and write the genotype or the phenotype correctly. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.